Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon.
Whiskey.
We're drinking whiskey. All right, Ben, what's on that? Whoa, what is up with you?
Do you notice anything different about me?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
Not even
I don't even notice any, like you're not there.
I mean, I'm partially here, you know. I decided I would rock the transparent look. This is just a thing I can do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like being double jointed, you know, but I can do like a,
yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Transparency thing. So I'm rocking the transparency.
Why?
Because today we are drinking, bam, Jacob's Ghost by Jim Beam.
I don't think they can see it yet because you're transparent. You got to set it down.
Oh, they can see it.
Move your hand out. Okay, now they can see it.
Yeah, there it is. See?
Okay, that worked.
I mean, should I do the whole thing transparent or should I just go back to normal?
You know, I think you should, well, because it'll be really disturbing to watch you drink.
Yeah, that's true, because it'll all this. Okay, hold on. I do a little I Dream of Jeannie thing. All right, back to normal. So, we have...
I was a big fan of I Dream of Jeannie.
Really?
Yeah, it was an awesome show.
So, we've got, this is, like I said, Jacob's Ghost. This is white whiskey. It is not a traditional white dog in the sense that...
Or white lightning.
Right. This is not a new make whiskey.
Well, what is this? Let's.
So this is the typical Jim Beam mash bill. I believe this is discontinued, by the way. I found this in a small town liquor store. They had a couple of them. So it's the regular Jim Beam mash bill.
Yes.
And it's actually aged for 1 year in a new charred oak barrel. So legally...
We would call this a bourbon.
Right. But they don't. They call it white whiskey. And I guess you can see that it's... I don't know how well this is going to pick up, and maybe in the pictures it will. It's not fully clear.
It's got a little bit of tint of color.
Yeah.
It's had yellowish, brownish, but it's light.
But it says clear distilled and clear filtered. So I think there's a filtration process after the aging that gets some of that color out of there, because you're going to get more color than this out of a year.
I would assume
aging. So, for example, this bourbon is, now this is 80 proof, but this is 92 proof. This is aged 1 year, and it looks like bourbon.
It looks like bourbon.
You know, if you held it up to the light, it is a little light, but it certainly, there's a difference.
Sure.
So I think the clear filtered that it says on the front there must be something in the filtration process that really takes that color out. So I honestly have no idea what to expect. You and I have both had white dog before. Yep. You have to say it like that, by the way.
I disagree.
White dog.
No, I don't think so. Do we have any Jim Beam products besides this in the bar?
Knob Creek store picks.
No.
I don't have any regular. I've got a regular Jim Beam mini bottle.
I'm just wondering, like, obviously we're comparing this to Jim Beam, but it's been a while since we had that Prohibition batch.
Let's do this.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you got to have some of that too.
So I'll pour some of this.
Let's start out with the white dog.
Otherwise known as white dog.
Yeah, this is a good idea, actually. I didn't even think of this, but yeah, to compare this. Yeah. So this is aged 1 year.
And this is it 4 years? The standard white label?
I believe the standard is 4 years. So somebody drank a regular Jim Beam white label and said, wow, that needs less age.
Here, I'll let you pour just a tad more. Yeah.
All right. So
if you're saving some of your 50 ml bottles,
get the cap back on, avoid
the danger.
So this is named after Jacob Beam, who was the first member of the Beam family to ever distill and sell whiskey. So that's what it's a kind of a tribute to.
It was just a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. First distilled 1795.
Yeah, that was back when America was a bit of a different country back then.
Wow.
What are we thinking? So I've had one other like White Lightning, White Dog type bourbon. It was the Buffalo Trace one.
Yeah, 125 proof.
Yeah, different proof point.
I have some homemade moonshine down here.
But so there's also a pretty, well, maybe it's not famous, but so this is 40, so this is 80. 80 proof, all white filtered. Yeah, this is
You know what's weird is I am actually getting...
You know, close your eyes and envision that scene with Unchained Melody, and I think we can make it work. Or just pretend it's bourbon.
It depends on how well you want to make that scene work. You know what's interesting is I would not, if I closed my eyes and you said here,
if you were blind.
if I closed my eyes and you said here, sniff this, I would not. I would open my eyes and start running. But no, you get a little, this doesn't have a simple new make
nothing
whiskey note to it.
Totally surprised it's 1 year. Like, that's a surprise to me.
Yeah, there's some oak on that.
Oak?
Interestingly, have you smelt it compared to the...
This one's definitely richer.
This one has like a little more caramel and sweetness and stuff, but there's something there. Gone in for multiple snivs here. We did establish that snivs is the plural of sniff, right?
I think so.
All right, let's go in for the taste here.
Here we go.
See what's going on.
This is White Dog.
White Dog.
You know, I'm sure there's some marketing executive somewhere that said, this is a good idea. He's an idiot. This is garbage.
You know what's weird? It almost tastes a little bit like beer.
Beer?
Yeah, there's like a beer note.
I thought you were gonna go with bubble gum. There's a bubble gum note. Okay, garbage is way too strong of a term. This is fine. I actually like it.
I bet you could probably come up with a good cocktail for this.
It needs some help.
Like 4 more years in a barrel and not being filtered so much?
Well, I mean, it's not, well, it's okay. Like,
take yourself out of you almost have to take yourself out of a whiskey category or a bourbon category and like,
True.
It's almost like its own thing. Are you getting the beer?
No. Getting like bubble gum. Like, it's actually got some nice flavors, but they're light, and it's an 80 proof, whiskey.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm not getting is youthful. Like,
I was just gonna say that. We've said in other reviews, it's not offensive. Like, this isn't gross.
No.
Like, new make is not something you're gonna want to sit and sip on. This is, I mean, I'm not saying I would necessarily pick this and choose it as something to sip neat, which I'm not even sure if that's what it was meant for. I agree. To be honest, don't know what they were going for with this.
I think novelty is 100% of what they were going for.
Novelty, or, there's maybe, it's kind of like almost like has a refreshing quality to it in a weird way. Like, it's so light and like, I wonder, this probably for us who tend to like our whiskey neat and like things a little higher proof, maybe wouldn't work, but maybe this on the rocks for someone who's looking for something light. Summertime drink, maybe?
Do you think some marketing executive is trying to come up with the next vodka based on American grain? Because I think this could be mixed with 1,000 things.
Yeah.
And work.
So I saw a video. There's a video out there if you just go to YouTube and search Jacob's Ghost.
Videos?
Yeah, Jacob's Ghost review or tasting. Hopefully ours comes up. But there is one that actually has Freddie No talking about this and tasting it.
Of the famous Ghost line.
And he mentions that this is sort of in that category for like, if you're a vodka drinker, this might be something that you might enjoy. And he said at the end, if vodka's a cold day in Siberia, this is a warm spring in Kentucky. And it's interesting because vodka is just tasteless alcohol for the most part.
See, I really get a lot of flavor from vodka. And it varies so much. Every vodka is so different.
Rubbing alcohol, but it's meant to not have a lot of flavor nuance, I guess, is what they say when they refer to it as a tasteless. It definitely has a taste like what vodka tastes like in your head. But this does have something.
Similar-ish?
Well, I think it's a lot nicer, actually. It's more well-rounded out. It's not as...
It's a little closer to whiskey, because it is whiskey.
It is a whiskey.
But what I mean is it's a little bit more, maybe a little bit closer to our preferred flavor profile. You know,
in the sense that it has flavor.
It does,
But I feel like this drinks easier than even an 80 proof vodka would.
The more I've had, and I've had several sips now.
It's sweet.
It's sweet. I don't hate it.
I don't either. Weird.
I'm really curious about it now. Like, did they really discontinue this, or?
I think so, but there's more at the store that I found it at. So if you
but I'm curious. Like, was this really an attempt to create a new thing? You know what I mean?
Maybe it was a throwback to just a tribute to Jacob Beam, or maybe it was to try to get in with clear spirit drinkers.
Yeah.
So I poured some more because I haven't had any of the actual Beam yet, and I'm not going to do water between. Definitely much more grain.
Much more of what we think
Much
of
more
a traditional
flavor.
bourbon.
Well, it is a traditional bourbon.
Well, traditional. I'm sorry, I messed up. Traditional barrel notes.
Yes,
Which
for
is
sure.
an okay name for a channel.
There you go. Somebody used that.
Yeah.
Send Greg a royalty check for every video.
But a lot of the same flavors. Like, it's quite similar. The more I've had of this, I know I called it garbage, but the reality is I kind of regret that because I don't hate it. I think it's very usable.
Go back to it after the regular Beam. Pour yourself more if you need. It almost like brings out flavors. Like, this is more flavorful after having the regular Jim Beam, which I thought it was going to fall off a cliff after having something that has more age and more color. And
this is actually really good, interesting, and a novelty still. But I don't hate it.
I don't either. I'm really surprised at how I feel about this whiskey.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to sit and sip this on a Saturday night? Neat. Probably
You have
not.
a few other
I've got
choices.
some other choices,
Yeah.
I will be perfectly honest with you, though. If I was anywhere and this is what they had and I really wanted to have a drink of whiskey, like, I'm going to enjoy having this. Like, Hollywood's phone
I
going
apologize. Bad things happen if I don't do this.
I could just enjoy having this. Like, yeah, I would definitely go to other stuff first. But, sitting on vacation somewhere, this is the only bottle available or whatever, I'm not going to have to, like, grimace and,
It's not as bad as I thought. I wrongly judged this to be a poor whiskey. And it's an okay whiskey.
Yeah. I would really like to actually see this at a higher proof. Like, if they did 100 proof of exactly this, I bet you that would be pretty good.
I agree.
All right, I'm doing it.
All right. I knew it. I knew it was coming.
It's about 50-50. Equal parts Jim Beam White Label and
No, White Dog.
Jim
Not
Beam
White
White Dog.
Oh, White.
I went
oh.
with this is the White Label. This is the White Dog.
I gotcha. So I can't do a 50-50s. I get way too much of the White Label.
Now it doesn't really smell like anything.
What do you think now?
It tastes about the exact same as. Tastes exactly what you would expect it to taste like.
See, I feel they taste very similar to each other.
Yeah, that's why mixing them together, they,
Yeah.
if you put the blend and then each one of them, mixed them all up. I'm shocked, to be perfectly honest, at how much in the bourbon category this is.
Yes.
Because like I said, I mean, I guess it would legally qualify because he said in that video, a new charred oak barrel. So I don't know if that clear filtering does something that disqualifies it from being a bourbon. But you'd think if you're stripping that much color out in filtration, you have to be stripping flavor out.
You would think so.
You would just assume, right?
I think we're getting slightly less of the bourbon flavors
Sure.
in our comparison.
But it's there, though. I mean, it's
There's
really...
definitely some, yes.
And I think you could make like if you're trying to make a cocktail that was like a good summer afternoon cocktail, you could definitely use this
Totally.
and get something good. So, all right, well, this has been an interesting one. This has been Jim Beam's Jacob's Ghost on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Cheers.